Ever have that moment when what you saw on screen made you feel totally seen, or even a little more hopeful about the world? Maybe it was a coming-out scene that brought tears to your eyes, or a love story that made you believe romance really is for everyone. Welcome back to Rainbow Spotlight. Today we're diving deep into the top 5 LGBTQ moments in Netflix and Hollywood history. The groundbreaking scenes, episodes, and films that didn't just entertain us, they changed the entire game. These aren't just entertainment milestones. They're cultural earthquakes that shifted how the world sees love, identity, and authenticity. From Oscar-winning breakthroughs to Netflix sensations that broke the internet, these moments prove that LGBTQ+ stories aren't niche. They're universal, powerful, and absolutely essential to great storytelling. What was the first movie or TV show that honestly made you say, "Wow, they finally get it"? Drop the title below and let the flashbacks begin. When Call Me By Your Name premiered in 2017, it didn't just give audiences a love story. It delivered a cinematic masterpiece that redefined how Hollywood could portray queer romance. Set under the sun-drenched skies of northern Italy, this film brought Timothée Chalamet and Armie Hammer together in a summer romance so authentic and tender that it made the entire world fall in love with love itself. Director Luca Guadagnino created something that felt both intimately personal and universally relatable, proving that great storytelling transcends any single identity or experience. Chalamet's Oscar-nominated performance as Elio was nothing short of revelatory, turning this young actor into a global sensation practically overnight. His portrayal of first love, sexual awakening, and heartbreak resonated so deeply that it launched him into the stratosphere of Hollywood's most sought-after talents. Let's be honest, half of us watched Dune just to see if those legendary cheekbones could survive the desert. But beyond the star-making performance, the film's approach to intimacy and emotion set new standards for authentic queer cinema. The internet's response was unprecedented for an indie LGBTQ+ film. Social media exploded with fan art, emotional reactions, and countless think pieces analyzing every gesture, glance, and symbolic peach. Young audiences found themselves represented in ways they'd never experienced, while older viewers appreciated the film's sophisticated approach to storytelling that didn't rely on tragedy or stereotypes to create impact. What made Call Me By Your Name culturally revolutionary was its complete normalizing of same-sex desire and romance. The film presented Elio and Oliver's relationship with the same cinematic beauty typically reserved for heterosexual love stories, using gorgeous cinematography, lush music, and intimate storytelling techniques that elevated queer romance to high art. Critics praised its mature handling of sexuality and emotion, while audiences worldwide connected with its universal themes of desire, loss, and the bittersweetness of first love. For mature LGBTQ+ viewers, this film represented a long-awaited validation of their experiences in mainstream cinema. Many commented that seeing their own feelings of first love reflected with such beauty and respect felt profoundly healing. The film's success proved that audiences were hungry for authentic queer stories told with artistic excellence rather than sensationalism or pity. The cultural impact extended far beyond box office success into broader conversations about representation, artistic merit, and the power of authentic storytelling. Call Me By Your Name helped mainstream the idea that LGBTQ+ romance deserves the same cinematic treatment as any other love story, paving the way for more nuanced, beautiful queer films in Hollywood's future. Quick emotional check. Was this film your first queer heartbreak? Type yes if you cried at that final fireplace scene. When Pose premiered on FX and later found its global audience on Netflix, it wasn't just groundbreaking television, it was a cultural revolution that brought New York's legendary ballroom culture into mainstream consciousness with unprecedented authenticity and respect. Created by Ryan Murphy, Brad Falchuk, and Stephen Canals, this series featured the largest cast of transgender actors in television history while centering Black and Latinx LGBTQ+ stories that had been systematically excluded from mainstream media for decades. The show didn't just represent these communities, it celebrated them with the glamour, complexity, and dignity they'd always deserved. Led by powerhouse performances from MJ Rodriguez, Billy Porter, India Moore, Dominique Jackson, and Haley Sahar, Pose captured the hopes, dreams, struggles, and fierce creativity of a generation fighting for survival, dignity, and recognition during the height of the AIDS crisis. The series made television history when Rodriguez became the first transgender actress nominated for a Lead Actress Emmy, while Billy Porter's emotional acceptance speech for his Emmy win brought audiences worldwide to tears and fundamentally changed conversations about LGBTQ+ representation in entertainment. The show's authentic portrayal of ballroom culture, from voguing competitions to house family structures, introduced mainstream audiences to a rich, vibrant community that had been creating art, love, and resilience for generations. Each episode was filled with spectacular performances, emotional storytelling, and educational moments that helped viewers understand both the beauty and the struggles of trans women of color navigating life in the 1980s and 1990s New York. Online fan engagement was explosive and deeply emotional. Viewers dissected every category, celebrated every ball, and analyzed every shade thrown with the enthusiasm of community insiders. Social media became filled with voguing tutorials, ballroom terminology explanations, and emotional testimonials from fans who finally saw their experiences reflected on screen. The show's hashtags consistently trended during episodes, creating virtual ballroom communities that extended the show's impact far beyond television viewing. For older LGBTQ+ viewers, particularly those who lived through the AIDS crisis, Pose provided long overdue recognition of their community's strength, creativity, and resilience during one of its darkest periods. Many commented that seeing their lost friends and lovers honored through such beautiful storytelling felt profoundly healing and validating. The cultural significance extended into broader conversations about intersectionality, representation, and the importance of authentic storytelling. Pose proved that audiences were hungry for complex, nuanced portrayals of marginalized communities when presented with respect, artistry, and genuine understanding. The series influenced fashion, music, and popular culture while educating mainstream audiences about ballroom culture's contributions to contemporary art and expression. House Pride Time. Who was your favorite house on Pose? Drop their name or your favorite ballroom emoji below. Long before streaming services and social media, Ellen DeGeneres made television history with 4 simple words that changed entertainment forever. Yep, I'm gay. The Puppy episode of Ellen, which aired on April 30th, 1997, wasn't just groundbreaking television. It was a cultural earthquake that cracked open the closet door for mainstream American entertainment and paved the way for every LGBTQ+ story that followed. This single episode required extraordinary courage from everyone involved and fundamentally shifted what was possible on primetime television. The episode itself was brilliantly crafted, using Ellen's signature humor to navigate the emotional complexity of coming out while maintaining the show's comedic tone. Guest stars, including Laura Dern, Oprah Winfrey, and K.D. Lang, helped create a supportive environment that felt both entertaining and deeply meaningful. Ellen's character came out to her therapist, played by Winfrey, after developing feelings for a woman, and the scene where she accidentally announces her sexuality over an airport loudspeaker became instantly iconic. The cultural impact was immediate and massive. An estimated 42 million viewers tuned in, making it one of the highest-rated episodes in television history. The episode generated unprecedented media coverage, with Ellen appearing on countless talk shows and magazine covers to discuss both her character's coming out and her own personal revelation. Time magazine put Ellen on their cover with the headline, "Yep, I'm gay," cementing the moment's historical significance. However, the aftermath was complex and sometimes painful. While the episode received widespread critical acclaim and numerous awards, including Emmy nominations, it also generated significant backlash from conservative groups and advertisers. Several major sponsors pulled their support, and some affiliate stations refused to air the episode. Ellen faced death threats and professional challenges that nearly ended her career, demonstrating the real risks involved in authentic representation during that era. For LGBTQ+ viewers, particularly those who had never seen themselves represented on mainstream television, this episode was profoundly validating and emotionally powerful. Many have described watching it as a life-changing experience that helped them feel less alone and more hopeful about their own futures. The episode became a cultural touchstone that people remember exactly where they were when they watched it. The long-term influence of Ellen's coming out extended far beyond entertainment into broader social and political conversations about LGBTQ+ rights and acceptance. The episode helped normalize discussions about sexual orientation in mainstream media while demonstrating both the power and the risks of authentic representation in popular culture. Memory lane moment. Did Ellen's episode air when you were out, closeted, or just figuring things out? Share your story in the comments. We love connecting through shared experiences. When Netflix's Heartstopper premiered in 2022, it didn't just give us another teen romance. It completely rewrote the script on how LGBTQ+ young love could be portrayed on screen. Based on Alice Oseman's beloved graphic novels and starring Kit Connor and Joe Locke, this British series delivered something revolutionary. A queer teenage love story filled with hope, joy, and authentic sweetness without requiring trauma, tragedy, or struggle as the price of admission. The show proved that LGBTQ+ youth deserved the same kind of butterflies in your stomach romance that had been reserved for heterosexual characters for decades. The series followed Nick Nelson and Charlie Spring's relationship from tentative friendship to deep romantic love, handling their journey with unprecedented tenderness and emotional intelligence. What made Heartstopper special wasn't just its authentic portrayal of queer teenage experience, but its complete normalization of LGBTQ+ identity within supportive family and school environments. The show demonstrated that queer young people could have loving parents, understanding friends, and positive coming-out experiences when surrounded by acceptance and support. Kit Connor and Joe Locke's chemistry was absolutely magnetic, bringing Alice Oseman's characters to life with such genuine emotion that viewers worldwide fell completely in love with their relationship. Their performances captured the nervous excitement, tender moments, and pure joy of first love with remarkable authenticity that resonated across age groups. The supporting cast, including Yasmin Finney as Elle and William Gow as Tao, created a diverse ensemble that represented multiple aspects of LGBTQ+ and allied teenage experience. The internet's response was unprecedented for a teen LGBTQ+ series. Social media exploded with fan art recreating the show's distinctive animation style, countless reaction videos, and emotional testimonials from viewers who felt seen and validated for the first time. TikTok became filled with Heartstopper content, from couple recreations to heartfelt stories about how the show impacted viewers' own self-acceptance journeys. The show's hashtags consistently trended globally, creating a massive online community of fans celebrating queer joy. For older LGBTQ+ viewers, Heartstopper represented the show they wished had existed during their own teenage years. Many commented that seeing young queer characters experience love, acceptance, and happiness without punishment felt profoundly healing and hopeful. The series became a bridge between generations, with older viewers celebrating the progress represented by such positive representation while sharing their own experiences of growing up without similar stories. The cultural significance extended beyond entertainment into real-world impact on LGBTQ+ youth mental health and self-acceptance. Mental health organizations reported increased calls from young people seeking support after watching the show, while LGBTQ+ youth advocacy groups praised its positive representation and realistic portrayal of supportive relationships and environments. Couple showdown time. Which Heartstopper pair melted your heart most completely? Vote Nick and Charlie or Tara and Darcy in the comments below. The 2017 Academy Awards will forever be remembered for one of the most dramatic moments in Oscar history. And it couldn't have happened to a more deserving film. Moonlight, Barry Jenkins' deeply personal coming-of-age story about Black queer experience, won Best Picture in a stunning upset that was made even more memorable by the envelope mix-up that initially gave the award to La La Land. But beyond the chaos and confusion of that unforgettable night, Moonlight's victory represented something profound. Mainstream recognition that LGBTQ+ stories, particularly those centering Black queer experiences, deserved cinema's highest honor. The film itself was a masterpiece of intimate storytelling, following Chiron's journey from childhood through adolescence into adulthood as he navigates identity, sexuality, and belonging in a Miami community that doesn't always provide safe space for difference. Told in 3 chapters with different actors portraying Chiron at each life stage, the film created a complete portrait of queer Black masculinity that had been virtually invisible in mainstream cinema. Trevante Rhodes, Ashton Sanders, and Alex Hibbert each brought unique perspectives to the character while maintaining emotional continuity that made Chiron's evolution feel completely authentic. What made Moonlight culturally revolutionary was its unflinching yet tender portrayal of intersectional identity. The film didn't shy away from the complexities of being both Black and queer in environments that could be hostile to both identities, while also celebrating the moments of connection, love, and self-discovery that make life beautiful despite adversity. Mahershala Ali's Oscar-winning performance as Juan, the drug dealer who becomes Chiron's unlikely father figure, demonstrated the complexity of community and care within marginalized populations. The Oscar night drama, when Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway mistakenly announced La La Land as Best Picture before the error was corrected, created an unprecedented moment of confusion that somehow made Moonlight's victory even more powerful. Watching the La La Land producers graciously hand over their Oscars to the Moonlight team, while Barry Jenkins looked stunned, became an instant cultural moment that millions witnessed live. The film's impact extended far beyond awards recognition into broader conversations about representation, authenticity, and whose stories deserve mainstream attention. Moonlight proved that intimate, personal stories about marginalized communities could achieve both critical acclaim and commercial success when told with artistic excellence and genuine understanding. For LGBTQ+ viewers of color, particularly Black men who had rarely seen their experiences reflected in mainstream cinema, Moonlight was profoundly validating and emotionally powerful. The film's success opened doors for other filmmakers exploring similar themes while demonstrating that authentic storytelling about intersectional identity could reach universal audiences. Oscar memory check: where were you during that wild envelope mix-up night? Tell us your Moonlight moment story. From Italian summers to ballroom battles, from primetime courage to teenage butterflies and Oscar night surprises, these 5 LGBTQ moments didn't just make entertainment history, they literally changed lives and opened hearts across generations. Each one proved that authentic storytelling about love, identity, and the courage to be yourself creates the kind of magic that transcends any single community or experience. Time to get interactive. We want to hear from you. First, which of these moments gave you the biggest goosebumps? Drop your number 1 through 5 in the comments right now. Second, share your own most memorable LGBTQ+ pop culture moment. Was it seeing your first queer character on TV? A coming out scene that made you cry? A love story that gave you hope? Your personal stories help connect our whole community across different ages and experiences. Third, don't miss our next deep dive into LGBTQ+ culture and entertainment. Subscribe to Rainbow Spotlight. We're building a space where every generation can celebrate progress, share memories, and appreciate how far authentic representation has come in making all of our lives richer and more beautiful. Remember, living authentically and staying young at heart really are the secrets to timeless charm. And these groundbreaking moments remind us that being true to yourself never goes out of style. Whether you're discovering these stories for the first time or reliving the emotions they first gave you, they prove that love, courage, and authentic storytelling create the kind of beauty that lasts forever. Thanks for joining us on Rainbow Spotlight, where every story matters, every moment counts, and authentic representation keeps making the world more beautiful for everyone. Rainbow.